Welcome back to the next episode. Okay, so I'm going into the Frenzied Flame looking finger pit. So I'm going to take a look at the Frenzied Flame shield to see if I can have an idea of what kind of damage type might be best there. Okay, it is the least good against Holy and Lightning. So I'm going to actually go ahead and rock the Bolt of Grand Stacks going in there, as it does some lightning damage. And lightning is the second best against that Frenzied Flame shield. So that is the plan. So let me go ahead and slot back on my regulars. Radigan Source Seal, Dragon Crest Great Shield, Erdtree's Favor. And then in a fourth slot, because I'm going into a Frenzied Flame type area, I'm going to raise my focus. That should help me against Madness buildup. Oh, look at that. It like doubled my focus bar. That's great. Okay. I think I should be able to fit on a bow in my equip load. Yes, and I'm going to go regular arrows and golden arrows for holy damage. Boom. Okay. Now, another thing I'd like to do is to alleviates madness buildup. Yes, please give me some of those. I'm going to slot them on over here. Okay, with that, I believe I am ready. And to get over there, I need to start here. Ooh, actually, let me make sure I have some fire damage on hand, because there's the hands I saw on the coastline, and fire damage makes those guys freak out. So I'm actually going to start off with this fire damage sword and fire arrows. I'm also going to... Do I have any... Let me just crank some regular fire throwing pots real quick. Am I out of... Okay, yeah, all my pots are full? What? Let me take a look. What am I... I have 15 fetid pots. It says I clicked discard selected number and now I'm on some kind of weird... I can't see the next thing it says. So, oh, here we go. Let me get rid of 5 and then there we go. So the reason... Alright, I've got a fire dismounter and I've got some fire pots prepped. And then I will also prep some... Do I have sacred pots? Holy water pot. Yeah, let me make a few of these. So the Sacred Order pots I'll slot on once I start seeing any Frenzied Flame type enemies. But for the start, I'm going to be using fire damage on my dismounter, and as well as on some throwing pots and arrows, because there are like there's some enemies down here I saw on the coastline. They're like these big crawling hands. Those enemies can be a pain in the butt, but if you use fire damage on them, at least how it was back in near Rolana's Rise and that kind of... near Ronnie's Rise and that kind of thing. Fire damage makes the hands kind of freak out and interrupts them and that sort of thing, which is very nice. They become much more manageable, I find, if you get some fire damage on them. So I'm going to slot in fire damage before I go off to have to front some hands. Now I just have to find the pathway down. Here it is. Very nice. Oh boy, I'm excited. I'm eager to know about what's going to happen with a handful of things down here. No pun intended. Okay, yeah, so these are the hands I was talking about. Yeah, so the fire damage makes them freak out. It also does a ton of damage to them. The first time. Just the first time, I guess. this. Okay. This guy, I want to get up close before I hit this guy with flame first, so that way I can capitalize on his, like, yeah, this window of this. Oh crap, he got me. That's not good. Okay, yeah, so again, if you're having trouble with these hands, if you're catching these hands, if you want those hands to catch these hands, use fire. Down on the corner. So we're going that way. Just take a look. I'm going to take everything in for a second, always. Oh yeah, that's very nice. Just good. Oh, I love the ripples out there on the water in the distance. Look at the jagged peak over here. Very cool. Okay. Let me go take a peek, little peek over here, see what's going on. I'm going to try to ignore these hands if I can, because if I don't have to kill them, I don't want to. They're a little bit of a pain. And I don't necessarily feel that they're going to give me anything important. If there was one that was important to kill, I think I would notice it somehow. And these don't seem to have anything indicating that they're important to kill. Sorry, I was curious what that item to pick up was. There was just a grave cricket on the ground. Alright. Here I go. Turn the page. What's up here on my left? Have I been up here on my left? I might go up here on the left and take a peek. Oh, hand enemy. Watch that. See that right there? See those nails sticking on the ground? Hand enemy. A lot of times they'll put like an item in there, in their palm. There's another one up here in the water line you can see. Right there on the right. There's one right here on the right. I'm going to go ahead and top off my health. I think it's okay to do that because if you're at full flasks, sometimes you kill enemies and they replenish your flasks. So if there's a group of enemies and you kill a somewhat large group of enemies, usually killing the last one ends up replenishing your flasks, or you can come across the Crimson Tear Scarabs, and they'll give you flask charges back. So if I'm sitting on full flasks, I don't mind using a flask at half effectiveness, as again, it's not uncommon for you to get flask charges back as you run around the game. Okay. Here it is. I think this is going to be an epic moment for me. I'm going to take this slow. Oh. Torrent, stop glitching your head around. Visibility is not great, but I'm totally making a wallpaper out of this. Oh, interesting. So this was like an arrow or something? I couldn't tell from elsewhere, but yeah, this guy was hit in the head with like an arrow or something. Is that a shaft in that? Who did this? What is that? I'm gonna grab this site of grace, and then so something interesting is that these, in a way, the things around the bases, almost to me, I mean, they kind of look like a version, like an eye almost. And wherever Godwin sprouts, like the Prince of Death, there's like eye pustules. So I don't think this is related to Godwin, but perhaps it's, related in some kind of way. Also, the Shabiri grapes and that kind of thing that you feed Hayeta are all eyes. They maybe kind of look like this. This is cool. Okay, I want to grab this grace. And I'm going to pull out a couple things just to share my thoughts with you. Okay. So see the pattern on this finger, and then let's pull out the Frenzied Flame Shield. So to me, these look similar. An interesting thing is there's this yellow stuff in it. Yellow could be grace. In this case, it looks gold, and grace is golden. So is this a frenzied finger with grace on it? Perhaps the fell god of flame is also the god of the frenzied flame, and the crucible might have had grace and golden grace before America stole it with the Erdtree. Also, down there at the end, there are some big stone. Trying to think of the right word. There's like the big stone pillars back there at the end. Now we found the stone sheathed sword in the fog rift catacombs earlier. And just looking at it from the outside, I don't see any hints on it. At least not from this far away. If I inspect its description, a sword that no one can pull from its scabbard of cracked stone, a relic of a lost civilization from a long time past, said to have served a ritual purpose at altars of light and darkness. Now, I don't know about light and darkness, but I'm curious if that is an altar up there on which we can unsheath the sword. The reason I am questioning that is because you can't see it from here, but there is a bit of a design on the pillars back there. And it's not too far from the wrinkling or the fingerprinting that you see here. When we found the stone sheathed sword, it was on a little chair, or like they called it an altar, on an altar which had a backdrop very similar to those. Or the design on it was similar to the design on those pillars. So I'm thinking that this might be an altar of light or darkness, And potentially we can unsheath the stone sheathed sword there. Also, real quick, I'd like to read the fingerprint shield description. A great stone shield with intricately carved fingerprint design. One of the heaviest of all great shields. Part of the tomb of an ancient god. The readerless fingers relayed their message through these imprints. The readerless fingers. So the fingers had no readers. Okay, so they put a message here. The fingers put a message here when they had no readers. So said to be the very seeds from which frenzy first sprouted. Okay. So ancient god, fell god of frenzy. Anyway, so I wanted to expand or take a moment to look at why I'm so hyped up about this area and why it seems so cool to me. And apart from just being here from a epicness standpoint of just like the visuals and the actual in-game world and that kind of thing, I wanted to take a moment to talk through all the things that I see it could be potentially relating to from kind of a lore perspective. So now I'm going to, I think there was one ledge back here that I wasn't sure if I had been on before. So I'm going to go to it, and then after that, I'm going to go back up to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion and get a little closer to the arrow in the back of that dragon's head and see if I can look at if there's any kind of texture or anything on it which might give a hint as to what it is. Because it looks like there's an arrow shaft in the middle of it, and the out of it is like looks kind of rocky. So I'd like to get closer to it and to take a look at it and see if maybe it's giving away anything about what it is. Okay, I don't really see any items. There's some spirit worms though. Some very chill spirit worms at that. Apparently. There's a hole in this. Why is there a hole in this? There's fingerprints on it. So these graves are put over like big fingerprinted rocks, it seems. So all the graves down here where all death comes, not all the graves, but there's item descriptions which describe this place as where all death ends up. And these graves are on top of, I didn't mean to shoot, everyone chill. They're on top of these stones, and I mean this side of this stone has a hole in it, and to me that looks like the fingerprint design, which is related to the frenzied flame. So that's kind of cool. I think that's as much as I can speculate on right there. So now I'm going to head up here and I'm going to check out this great arrow. I'm curious if there's any significance or like, you know, why is all this dragon stuff so close to the frenzied flame and the finger, what's the place called? The finger ruins of Rhia. I don't think, Rhia is a new name to me. I don't recall seeing it from any other item descriptions. I'm just going to walk on this guy's eyeball real quick. Pretty well preserved eyeball, if I'm being honest. Okay. So I guess it wasn't like there was a shaft in it, but what is? Oh, there's a tree growing through that guy's wing up there. How high up on this guy can you go? You can get up here pretty high on him. I wonder if there's like items and stuff up here to find. I'm on his belly. Leg. Damn, I bet there's some good messages on here. That's the one thing that's certainly missed about playing in online mode, is all the quality message sharing. I bet there's some good messages. Oh no. Oh, I lived. Okay, yeah. trying to double check, make sure I understood where I was after I landed. Okay, so there's like blue stuff in this thing. Is it an I-beam? And there's just... What is this growing on the outside of it? What is this? Is that maybe glintstone inside of it? Like the blue stuff? I can't tell what all this stuff is that's growing on it. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I have no idea what this is. Do not know. Even after seeing it up close. For whatever reason, on this side and the other side, there's these kind of paths on it, so... To me, it seems like there was an inner item that got shot into the dragon, and now this other stuff started growing on the outside of it since then. I just don't know what that inner thing could be based on what I've seen of it. It's like an inverse sword or something. Yeah, I really can't tell what that is. Okay. Anyway. I think that's as much as I can try to infer there, so I'm going to move on. Didn't look like gravelstone. I wonder why some of the thing on the inside of it is blue. Alright, alright. Time to go. I'm going to get a move on. I don't mind these little hands so much. They're not too annoying or like difficult. The big hands are though. Again, I've always found fire to be good against these hands. It does a lot of damage to them initially and it makes them freak out. Keep an eye out for hands buried in the ground with their fingertips sticking out, as well as ones up on walls that might try to drop down on you. Are each of these fingers like a part of a hand? I think I see individual fingers. Like that back there almost looks like all these fingers are of a hand. But otherwise, the fingers to me don't seem like they're all related to each other. It seems like each finger is just an individual finger. Looks like we get to see one of the eyeballs right there up close. What is that in front of it? Looks like a new enemy to me. Oh, there's some snake guys. Huh. Okay. Okay. Let's go find out. Oh, Mesmer is like part serpentine. That's part of what's been going on. Dude, is Mesmer... Did Mesmer like side with Felgod? That's why he's like, they call him serpentine? Like Mesmer came here on America's orders and then sided with the Felgod after he got here or something? And I say Felgod, it might not even be Felgod, right? The Frenzied Flame God, though. Okay, watch out. There's a bunch of stuff good to get you here, it looks like. Fighting any enemy on its own is very manageable, but when you have to fight multiple enemies at the same time is when things can become hard to manage. So the plan is always try to make it so that you can just fight one enemy at a time if possible. Okay, so I apparently don't want to interrupt them freaking out. Because that not only did it interrupt his freak out animation, but he might have started taking less damage. Hard to say off of those examples so far. Okay. Take a peek. I think I'm just going to run around on foot. That way it can go a little slower, have more time to see things. Both for an appreciation and for a gameplay reason. Admittedly, mostly for an appreciation reason. I want to take this part of this rather slow. Damn. Oops. Okay, watch the big guy. I have some HP regen cooking, so I'm not going to pop a flask for that reason. Actually, I am topped, and by topped I mean I have full flask charges, so I'll go ahead and use one as I'm likely to get flask charge back from killing an enemy. Or a group of enemies. Is this the... I'm looking for kind of a little bit of a money shot of the Erdtree. Or the Erdtree and the finger altar thing. I'll probably get the best shot from down there. I wonder if like you're standing in front of the finger altar, that the Erdtree is like lined up right behind it. Oh, I think it is. Oh yeah, this is definitely a place. Important. Yo! What is going on here, huh? So you got a jarhead? Oh, okay. You can duplicate remembrance here. Very nice. I guess there's no Melosiums in the DLC then. Which is fine. Walking Melosiums, that is. Acquire materials. What was that? Nail stone. Found at Finger Ruins. Flake-like stone shard with a faint fingerprint engraving. Material used for crafting items. Found at Finger Ruins. A piece that came loose from the tip of one of the column-like stone fingers that grow at the Finger Ruins. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that might be the bridge where we've seen the painting. Or, I have a painting of that bridge, perhaps. I wonder if it always rains here. Okay. So these look like they were perhaps people and now turned into snakes. Something like that. Wonder if it ties into Rykard at all. And also Mesmer is said to have a serpentine nature, so I'm also thinking Mesmer might have a tie in here. Oh hell yeah, let me get a good nice little walk down here. Ooh. Can't tell if this is an eyeball or something different. It is perhaps the inside of a finger? I saw you. What kind of magic is he using on me? This looks like ghost flame. Maybe not. Or is it stars? Is it white stars? Could be stars. Because of the whole procession of stars thing. I found an item earlier that said something about procession of stars. Don't remember what it was from though. Very cool, Bateman. So, I could go straight in there, or I'm going to explore first. Yeah, I don't know if those are like broken finger bases, or if they're like, you know, eyeballs or something different. They look kind of round, so I guess it could be fingertips. It's very cool that they seemingly made this whole big place of this, you know, for... I think they made it this big primarily for the epicness of like the story and that kind of thing. I don't think it was made this big for gameplay. I think it's this big so it'll be more grand on a world building level. And it has most certainly achieved that. Finger mimic. Material for crafting items. Light pink mushroom resembling a wizened finger. Used for crafting items, seemingly rare to find. Used by those who wish to become fingers to induce hallucinations. They call these mushrooms the stillborn of the two fingers. Okay. Two fingers are the fingers of the greater will. Three fingers were the frenzied flame fingers. All of these is just one finger sprouting at a time. So perhaps the fell god of flame only sprouts one finger at a time? Because we've seen two fingers and we've seen three fingers, but we have not seen one finger. And out here, it's one finger at a time. Fingerprints are similar to Finger of the Frenzied Flame, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm starting to think perhaps this is a... I have no idea. I mean, I have ideas, but, you know, obviously purely speculating. Interested to learn about these snake, lizard, eel men, whatever they are. They remind me a little bit of like the enemies, I guess, from Seath's Fortress. Yeah, they're more like, these guys are more like eels, or like there's a kind of parasite that I'm thinking of. Maybe those things coming out of the ground are like these guys in some kind of way. Like the bases around the fingers, like those little rounded nubs. The outer part of it, I mean, it's kind of shaped like these guys' mouths, like it's just a circle. I only get to experience this for the first time once, so I'm going to take a minute every now and then to look around and just take it in. Very, very cool. I wonder if this was a main entrance. I'm gonna take a peek up here, see if there's any items or any of that kind of thing. Over here, this is most certainly the bridge I think I have a painting of. I just don't know where the painter is going to be. Maybe I can tell if the jagged peak is behind it. Maybe that's a wider bridge. There's also like a building or something on one side, and on either in this bridge, there's no buildings that I'm aware of. I'll go there next, but I'm going to check up here real quick. Also, I know that I'm looking for somewhere with like a stone arch. Finger hand, watch out. This episode's coming up on 40 minutes, so I will try to find an appropriate stopping place to end this quote-unquote episode pretty soon. Hello? Finger Weaver's Hovel. Aha! My theory is proven true. The finger creepers hail from these ruins. So now, I must sound this one hanging bell, and sweetly cradled shall I come to be, by the exalted... I messed that last one. By the exalted mother. The finger creepers hail from these ruins. So now I must sound this one hanging bell, and sweetly cradled shall I come to be at the bosom of the exalted mother. Okay, so you gotta ring a bell to be cradled at the bosom of an exalted mother. Finger Weaver's Cookbook 1. I don't know who an exalted mother would be. A record of crafting techniques left by a determined student. It could be the formless mother, who is like, I think, Moog's god. A record of crafting techniques left by a determined student of the Finger Ruins. His brush with the sublime, all but shattered his mind, though he was left capable enough to leave these few precious words. Learn how to craft glinting nail. Use FP to fire a shattering magic nail. Sorry if you guys hear something real quick. I'm lowering my desk. Been standing for a while. Nailstone with shining fingerprints floating above. Craftable item. The lamp. Okay, yeah, that's what I was looking for. The lampreys that guard the finger ruins resemble fingers far more than they do humans, and so the finger weavers imitated their sorcery. So lampreys. So I need to sound a bell so I can be held at the bosom of the Blessed Mother, who could be the Formless Mother again, who was like, I'm pretty sure Moog's like outer god. Also, I need to be cognizant to watch for fingertips out here. That is a bear, albeit not a big one. That's just plants. Okay, I don't think there's anything else here, which is great. Now I get to go back. Maybe it's a spirit calling bell? There's either like a bell I'm gonna find, or maybe they're alluding to the spirit calling bell. Okay, I am hungry, and I need to do something about that. And this episode's about 40 minutes long already, so I'm gonna pause it here, and we'll pick back up in the next one. Hope you have a good one, and I will see you in the next one.